what we talking about today?
You tell me.
That's exactly where we need to start because I am very happy. That's how she be with.
She was like, popping with her braids.
Yes, back in the day, I used to be watching Moesha like, yes, I need those. I need those. I need those.
You know what was a wig?
What?
So
I makes sense.
I saw that like a couple years ago or a while ago, but now it makes sense because as I'm watching, I'm like, dang, she be sitting for hours. Getting her hair done like over and it's like different it's different in different scenes like
her hair
different braids
too.
So
that's a wig girl. She was rocking a braid wig before we even knew that was a thing. So
yep, I'm happy that all those shows are like going to YouTube Netflix. Like I'm really looking forward to it, but as we know, Moesha was the first, and social media has been like really loud.
Wow.
Is what you say? Like, yeah, like really loud and annoying with like just the opinions, and of course everybody had their own opinions or whatever. But come on, like so. The opinions that I've seen are Moesha's a bad friend. The fat jokes about Kim. She's spoiled. She's what else? What else have y'all seen?
Privileged, entitled, boy crazy.
Oh, she was boy crazy.
Her dad is misogynistic. Like there's a whole thing there with this show.
Yeah.
Well, let's start with Moesha.
Let's start with both of them.
Yeah. So with all of the opinions and stuff, like, of course, it's good like that we're seeing things, years later at a different time, especially things are so different. Of course, this was the 90s. But when I saw the opinions, and then when I went back and watched it for myself again, the very first episode, which I'm not sure if people are like paying attention to or really care, she's 15. Like, the very first episode, she's writing in her diary, and she says, "My daddy said I can't date until next year when I'm 16." I'm like, so as soon as I heard that, I completely disagreed with everything I read.
Yeah, like, it makes sense. She's a teenager.
She's a teenager in the 90s. Like, she looked grown now. She's tall. She has like a beautiful body and stuff, and I know she wasn't 15 when she was doing the show, or maybe she was.
Pretty close in age, though. She was a teenager. She was like 16, 17.
Right. Yeah. It's just like, she don't look 15, but she's 15.
She is 15. And the thing about it is like, for me, it wasn't so much about Moesha's behavior, because I totally understood the like coming of age, figuring life out thing. I mean, even back in the day, I always thought Moesha was a little boy crazy. That's typical. Not every 15-year-old girl is like that, but it's also not completely abnormal. I probably had a new crush every week. So, I mean, most of them were celebrities, but, Lil Bow Wow, Lil Romeo, Lil Zane, Lil Wayne, like, it switched. But I wasn't dating boys like that and sneaking behind and stuff. I wasn't doing all that.
Wait, were you team Bow Wow or Romeo?
Bow Wow.
I think I was team Bow Wow, honestly, because he was the most popular. But deep in my heart, I thought Romeo was the bee's knees.
No, you couldn't tell nobody, though. You couldn't tell nobody.
It was like, shh.
I feel like I remember, and maybe Lauren could correct me. Hey, Lauren. I feel like Lauren and I had, one time we were watching Lil Romeo on TV, and we're fighting over whose boyfriend that was. So there was some Lil Romeo stands back in the day. Right. And I feel like Lauren and I were standing him. Like, don't hate. Let's be real.
Right.
I love Romeo Miller, but yeah, I think Moesha was coming of age. That didn't bother me as much as the fat shaming did. But
oh yeah, you know what's crazy though? Looking at the show now compared to then, when I was younger, I thought Kim was like actually fat, and they made the fat joke, so that's what was in my head. But now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, yo, she looks like a regular person. Like she didn't even have a stomach. Bruh.
Give me it to me, honey.
Yeah, it's funny because like what we're looking at now, it's like even a lot of the styles. Because I was watching the other day, yesterday, and I was looking at one of the hairstyles, and I'm like, for real, I would wear my hair like that. Like the fashion, the hairstyles, like it's like now these are the things that are glorified, like the size and all of that. So, and the last episode I watched was about body image, where the list had came out or whatever, and
Yeah, when they first met Q.
yeah, and we're gonna get into the boys because Q was the reason I watched that show,
But
honey.
we need to get into Q. He was from New York. Like in real life, the actor is from New York.
Yeah.
He was going a little too hard with that New York. Because he was like, yo, fucking B, like, mad hard. I'm like, I don't remember any dude I grew up with talking to me like that. Like,
I don't know if it's because I was growing up in New York watching the show, but Q, even the other day yesterday when I was watching it, he was like, some shorty. I was like, oh, yes, yes.
Girl.
Yes. I don't know what it is, but that New York, like, I was here for it.
But you know he turned it up for the cameras. Like, come on.
Oh, no,
that was not realistic.
Yeah, no.
It was extra.
There are some people that I know that talk.
No.
There are people that I know that talk like that, but he was putting it on for the cameras. Like he was exaggerating, but yeah, like that same episode yesterday with the body, and then like they were talking about Mo like having a big butt, and she was like, no, and I'm like, today that's it. Today it's like what you shots BBLs, hello, like so.
I think the 90s was for the skinny women. Like now that I look back on it, I think 90s was definitely, I don't think even like thick Black women, and I could be wrong, but I just, looking back on everything from the 90s and all the actresses, I feel like slim was in.
Yeah.
Big booty was just not. That's what I gather.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
So
that's what Parker's was like a crazy thing because they both were like big. So
thick women, yeah. It's just, to me, I just felt like it was really cringy when I watched it first. And that's the thing that irritated me about this, is we all said, like, when we found out these shows were coming back to, like, Netflix and coming back to us and becoming more accessible, we all agreed. When we watch it, we're going to look at it from an adult perspective. And so it's going to change everything in how we watch the show. Because I watched Moesha as a kid. Like you said, Egypt, I thought Kim was fat because they said it so much. I didn't think nothing was wrong with the comments because it was just a normal thing. But watching it as an adult and also watching it in the, in 2020 when we're more sensitive to a lot of different communities, it was cringy. It was cringy because it was unnecessary. Like, and it was cringy because most of the fat jokes were coming from women and her own girlfriends. And I don't care what nobody says. That's just not realistic, at least not in the world I grew up in, where my own girlfriends is talking to each other like that. Yeah. We fight somebody over something like that. What'd you say you did?
Especially not in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I could really say that because I mean, like I didn't go to high school in the 90s, but I did go to an all-girls school, and it wasn't like, I just don't remember that. Like I don't have memories of that. It wasn't like, oh my God, we're just sitting around the table like, oh girl, you big. Like we weren't doing that. So it's just, it was cringy to me, but I feel like I had read so many statuses about it that when I read it, when I finally saw it again, I was like, okay. Like I wasn't like, But then again, 90s television, the sitcom style, everybody in the back laughing and crap like that. So
that's what also bothered me, is because usually on those sitcoms, when somebody says something insulting, you normally hear the sound effect that goes, ooh. But whenever somebody said something insulting to Kim, it was funny. It was a laugh. And that just bothered me. Like it just made me uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it's because now I'm on the thicker side of life. So I just am more sensitive, or because I'm more consciously aware. But it definitely was very cringy and made me reflect on, like, wow, did we really normalize a lot of bad behavior back in the day? And now I can understand why we have Me Too and all these comments. Look at where we were just a couple years ago. Like, so I get it.
Yeah.
It's fair.
It definitely made me upset too that people were on social media like dismissing people's reactions because people are allowed to react.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the first time many people are seeing this, and how many years later? Come on, like, that's a completely normal behavior. So that really upset me that people were dismissing people's feelings and reactions to the show because, I mean, people are allowed to have opinions. Like,
and we also got to remember, when was this recorded? This was like 20, almost 30 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
it was 1996.
5.
Like times are completely different. Like even if we had, let's say for example, we had a pandemic in the 90s compared to now, parents are gonna be like, oh no, you're going to school. I gotta make my money. Now, you ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Exactly.
Completely different time frames.
Right. You got parents feeding their kids almond milk. Like, people are just more aware.
Yes.
It's more aware, and I think it's completely healthy to be in a place of awareness and reflect on like when we weren't aware and say like, wow, we really were in a sunken place.
Wildin'. We was wildin'.
We was really wildin'.
I agree. I agree 100%. And it's, you know, like the meme that said like normalize changing your opinion when presented with new behavior. Like even if you get the new behavior or the new opinion and you're like, nah, I still said what I said, that's fine. But just, okay, then just be quiet, you know?
Exactly.
No, but
read the room.
Yeah, that, oh
read
God.
the room.
That's the episode name, Read the Room, child, because
if you don't belong in the room, step outside the door.
Outside. Read it, just get a little, take the temperature. Like, what are you doing, you know? But
what are you doing?
my only, like, the other thing that I just I have to say it, like, with the show, there's parts of it, like, of course, it's teaching lessons. And the thing is, in the 90s, like 90s TV compared to today, the lessons are a little more hidden. So, like, today is blam. There it is. Like, this, you don't do this or you don't do that, and period. But back then, like, so Moesha's, it started, I think, recorded, the show picks up in 1996, right? And her mom had passed away 3 years before. So I think Dee and Frank had been together for like a year or two or whatever. And, you know, people saying like Frank was misogynistic or whatever. But the thing is, Moesha was running that household like before Dee came. And of course, you know, again, the 90s, so nobody was talking about nobody doing grief therapy and grief counseling and stuff like that. But that's what they needed. That's what they needed, because Moesha was like, you know, you see her struggling, which is fine to show, like her struggling with this adjustment period. And then Dee worked at her school, you know, so that was really like tough on her. But yeah, that was just my little tidbit. Like, she needed some therapy. They needed some family therapy in there. They needed some adjustment phase, like going through, especially like the way that Dee, of course, when it picks up, Dee is in the kitchen. Like, it's just like, hey, I'm stepmom. Hello, y'all. And Moesha, like, she was talking about waiting for the other shoe to drop. So I'm just like, you just needed a little counseling, girl. Y'all all needed a little, and they needed to give her a little bit of grace too.
Yeah, that's true.
Because she went from holding up, you know, Miles is young, and then the dad, I'm sure he's just grieving because that was his wife. And now it's just like, you have this new wife, and then, oh, y'all just got to get with it. And it does not work like that.
No.
He's also, I don't think he's also a good parent for that too, to let her do all of those things. Like, of course, you're going to need extra help around the house, but it seemed like she was doing everything and she wasn't complaining about it.
Right. And then the part where, and see, that's the problem with it, is like, if you're going to let her do it, you're going to have to prepare for what's next. Because again, she's 15 and 16. You cannot let her run your household, be mommy, and then shoot and then slap her down when she gets too big for her britches.
Come on now.
Allow that growth. Like, don't get me started on parenting. You notice what I do. So
that part is always a big thing for me, because I used to say that growing up as a kid, like, don't give me adult responsibilities, and then as soon as I start, you know, be surprised when I want to have, I don't want to say adult moments, but more freedom. And granted, I'm not saying, you know, now as an adult, I get why parents I don't want to say smother their kids, but set boundaries with their kids. So I get that, but I'm not going to sit here and lie and say you're completely spot on with that. Like, you have a young girl playing wife and mommy. That's weird, first of all. I thought that was completely weird. Mm-hmm. Let's just talk about that. I felt uncomfortable. But, and then you want to shoot her down and make her a teenager after you make her an adult. It's just a weird situation. But I felt like Frank, I wasn't too upset about Frank's role when I watched Moesha. I felt like he was being a dad, just an overprotective dad. But I did see some misogyny with him, with the fact that, you know, as a parent, he felt like his daughter should take on the womanly roles that his wife left behind, even though she just lost her mother. You know what I mean? Come on. Yeah. And then when he got a wife, Dee worked. And at one point, there's an episode where she mentions bringing in more money than him. Mm-hmm. And yet Dee did all the cooking. What'd you say?
He's a car salesman. So he, you know, I mean, he works on like commission.
Paycheck. Yeah. And so it's like, then there was a part where Dee was, you know, was doing all the cooking and all the cleaning and then all the parenting. It just was like, all right, like, come on. Like,
gotta do something.
Yeah, it just has. That's the part why I will say I can see why people felt like he was misogynistic. Mm-hmm. He was a little bit. I mean, it just is what it is. He just was, but it was.
I'm happy to see it, and I'm definitely looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Girlfriends, honestly. That and 101. That I cannot wait.
Oh, that's coming too. Why didn't? Oh, they bring all that.
Yes, it's coming. I think it's coming like in the next couple of months for sure. 101 and Girlfriends. Like there's some other ones, but
and Parker's is coming too.
The Parker's is what I liked the Parker's more than Moesha.
Most people say that.
You got me on that one.
Most people say that.
It was good.
It felt more like, I don't know, relatable. Like you know, and also as far as Moesha, like her being like privileged or whatever, I don't see nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't see nothing wrong with that. I don't see nothing wrong with this Black girl wanting more or it being normal for her to have more. Like, we ain't got to always play the struggle roles on TV.
Come on now. I don't see like that.
Like the car episode when she wanted she was bratty about the way she went about it when she wanted the Jeep and she got the Saturn. She was very bratty, but she's like, no, I want what I want. I appreciate you and whatever, like, but I want this Jeep.
Yeah. I feel you on that part. I think what was contradictory for me, granted, I have a lot of criticism of Moesha, but I'm also enjoying Moesha a lot. Like, a lot. So I'm just watching it from a perspective where, like, I have thoughts and opinions and such and such. But the thing that was a little contradictory for me is she did present herself as this very independent feminist. But then she was always getting in trouble over a boy. And that's the part that always confused me. Is she was always sticking up to her dad, like, I'm not gonna be like Dee, I'm independent, woman power. But then whenever a boy came around, she would just like melt and just lose all her sense.
That's the teenage girl in her right there.
Say it again, Egypt.
That's the teenage girl in her.
That's what I was gonna say. That part, because the part where she's like, oh yeah, I don't understand that. I mean, now at this age, I understand in this time. But when I was, you know, I don't even know, like not even 15. Whatever age I was watching that, I understood the part with the boys. Like, I understood that part when she was like, I was like, oh yes, this is how it be when I got a little crush on so-and-so. You know, like that part was relatable to me. Like, especially like in all girls high school, you know, the boys used to be outside waiting. Like,
we had crushes, girl.
Yeah. So that part was relatable. Like, oh snap, oh Haji was playing her too. Like, so I got that.
The boy part was relatable. The crush part, all the other stuff they was doing, like, my parents was just home too much for me to be able to have all that sneaking around and running to something. And we ain't have no den. We had the PAL Center. So we ain't have all that. But you know what also I noticed, and then we can move on. Well, if y'all want to move on from this, I know I'm stretching this out. But one thing I noticed was something I know is picture of like a middle class family, but then their community would always be hood, or they would try to paint this like urban hood look, and I'm like, that don't align. Like that never worked for me. Like I never saw it like that. Like
wait, so can y'all confirm? So did she live in Compton, or she went to school in Compton? Or I don't know what I'm talking about at all.
That's what I was gonna say, because yesterday in the episode that I was watching, they said went to Disney City Walk, Universal City Walk. I thought that was in Florida.
Yeah.
No, they have Disney in California.
Oh, so okay. Oh, right. They do. See, I automatically went Florida. I was like, she was in Florida?
Mm-mm. I don't know if she lived in Compton. She went to school in Compton, but they painted, even though her school really wasn't, but they always kind of, in my opinion, try to paint this like urban school. Yeah, I don't know why I did that, but I didn't know how else to do it. So, but then I noticed that about the 90s. Like, it just never matched up. Like, they would paint this like big, beautiful house, middle class family, but then they'd be going to like this urban school. But then even the kids in the school didn't reflect what I saw growing up in urban schools. So I'm just like,
make it make sense.
Y'all trying to collide two different worlds a little too much for me, and this ain't even real. Like, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
My little observation.
So, okay, ladies. So we have our Keke Palmer question from Instagram. So, like we've been talking since Keke posted, or she tweeted, like and the tweet is, if I were to create a millennial The View, who would you want to be my co-host? Mm-hmm. And this sparked the conversation of like, who really would be her co-host?
Yeah.
Like, who else is, I don't want to say like on her level, but help me out, guys. Like, but
who is, I feel like, because I know we had this conversation, who is the equivalent to Keke for our generation? Like the millennial, young Black women leaders who went from child actresses to adult actresses. They're unproblematic. They always got a job. Like, the Zendayas, the Yaras.
So from the comments, we had Yara, Zendaya, and Meg for a little spice. Somebody said Cardi B. It would be really outspoken. She would be really outspoken, but Cardi B. And somebody also said Sky Jackson. But I don't know if she's a millennial. But either way.
None of them are, except for Cardi and Meg.
Yeah.
Those are all Linksters.
Yeah. So, and I think it's a good question, but like when I saw it and I started to think about it, honestly, I don't think Keke would need anybody else.
Yeah, like have her own show.
Yeah, I would watch. Like,
mine is like, no, she needs someone.
No, I'm saying she don't need no one.
Oh, okay. I was like,
yeah, I was like, oh, disagree.
Oh, no, yeah, she don't need no one. Sorry.
Yeah, I think she's standalone, because even when she was on Michael and the other show that got canceled or whatever, like I was just like, I'm literally here for Keke. Like I'm literally, and I feel like I don't know, like I grew up with her. Like like from Akilah and the Bee to now, she's like, and then I'm like biased because her middle name is Kiana. It's my name. So
I gotta go.
What did you say, Egypt?
Gotta go.
But I gotta go.
Always play me when I talk about my name. Egypt always play me. She'd be like, okay, but that's my plug. Anyway, she's just her personality. Like I'm just here for it.
Yeah. I think that she definitely could carry the show, but really for me, that wasn't so much about like who is the co-host, more so like who are the Kekes of our generation. Like you see how people listed Zendaya. I don't know how to say her name properly.
Zendaya, I think.
Zendaya, sorry.
You know who you talking about, girl. Go ahead.
Sky Jackson. Like they're listing Linksters, Generation Z, and Generation Z, for people who may not know, are people in the mid to late 90s, and it ends in the 2010s. So it's usually people like from 1996 to 2010. So that's like Yara, Marseille Martin, Chloe and Hallie. Haley.
Oh, I say Haley.
Yeah, see? Sky, Storm Reed. They got have a whole group of powerful Black women who went from little baby stars, growing into young adulthood, who use their platform for activism, who always got a check, who are just doing the thing. And I'm like reflecting on millennials. And I'm like, besides Kiki, who else do we have? Raven was ours. And then she forgot she was Black. And so that ship has sailed. Like, who else do we have that's still relevant?
Yeah.
Well, the only reason I don't like this category is because I don't like the time frames that they're setting. Like, I Googled what an actual millennial is, and it was like 1980 to 1996. Like, why can't we just do like 80s, 90s, 2000s? Because millennial and
we have too many generations.
Terms.
That's the problem with generations too, is if you're like on the end, like for example, older millennials, they like hate being identified as millennials, which I don't see why, because you know.
I mean, I like it. I'm cool with it.
I'm
cool with it. I'm in good company. I'm in real good company.
Okay. But they don't like it. But I'm like, well, what else would you be? Because the only generation before us is our parents, my mother, literally. Right. That generation is Generation X. We're Y and they're Z. So that's Generation X. So it's like they get all upset when they're considered millennials, and those are people who are like in their 30s right now. And I'm just like, it's weird. And then Linksters want to sometimes be considered millennials. I'm like,
So would Mecca be considered a Linkster? No, she's 1995.
She's not. I think she just makes millennial. She just makes millennial.
See, and that's what I don't like, because no offense, Mecca, but I feel like
no shade.
Mecca, the Camellias, and all of them, they're completely different from us, even though it's not that much
younger.
Yeah.
Was Camellia in 95?
I think she's 96.
Then she's a Linkster.
Okay, so that makes sense.
She's a Generation Z. And here's the thing, no shade to Linksters, because I said this before, Linksters are doing it.
They are.
The TikTokers, they're the ones that made social media careers popping. Like, they are the future in every sense of the word. They are way more socially conscious than millennials.
They are.
Some people may call them sensitive, but I just call them conscious. Like, Linksters really are the future. Don't sleep.
I be taking notes, because remember when we was trying to do our little TikTok, I was like, I'm stressed. Like, I'm stressed. I'm in between Snapchat, putting the sound on it, editing.
And they just get on. They don't even break a sweat. They just be like, bloop, 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 bloop.
Let me show you real quick.
Okay. Stressed. Okay. So, you know, I agree.
Linksters are the future. Period. Like, I don't care what nobody said. They got it. And like, and it's proven, because look, we're still trying to rack on brain on who is Kiki's counterpart. I saw on the Embracing Black Culture blog, which I love them, by the way, on Instagram.
That's favorite.
They did list like who would be a great co-host, but even then it was like Jessie Wu and Summer Walker, great people, but they're not. It's not the same category. Again, we're talking about young Black entertainers that went from childhood to adulthood and are like women. And everybody knows who Jessie Wu is, but everybody knows who Zendaya is.
She's more for person. I think the answers I saw for that question were based off personality, period.
Yeah.
Like, based on like Jessie Wu, like, you know, she's very talented with her singing, and she does her videos, her impressions and everything. So that personality would make it, but as far as like the caliber of work, she's not there yet. And she, you know, I don't know.
And influence. Like,
yeah.
And she's
on hip hop. Like, she was on Love and Hip Hop throwing bottles. Like, let's not forget. So you gotta make your choices, and you want certain shows, you gotta remember that. So but I mean, I love her, like, and she's gorgeous. But like Summer Walker, like, no. I'm sorry. And she's talented as well, but I mean, we just have to be like realistic with the personalities we're talking about. So. Exactly.
Like, they're not.
I don't even see them
on the scene. What'd you say?
I don't see them meshing.
Yeah, that, and they're also new on this scene. Like, I just don't look at them as like young Black millennial leaders for me. Like, I don't. Yeah. The only woman leader in our generation that I really is Kiki. I'm trying to figure out who else on the celebrity level.
The other person that you had told us about was Ari. I didn't know about her. I
Right.
Lennox.
I don't think she a woman leader.
No, not. Didn't we have a conversation about her?
Not me. She's sensitive. I'm not a fan. I mean, I'm a fan of her music.
Because you
Wasn't me.
keep it. Not. Who was I talking to about that?
Not me. I don't even know none of her music. I know she's good, but
I didn't know she had music until we mentioned her in a conversation we had.
It could have been a group chat conversation, group chat to YouTube.
Yes.
But I'm trying to think, like,
I'm about to look it up in the group chat because I know I.
oh no, you'll be scrolling for days.
No, I'm putting it in the search.
Oh yeah, see, Kiana be good with stuff like this.
In the search.
Ari Lennox, I like her music, but I feel like she's a little. I hate calling women sensitive, especially Black women, especially in the cultural, times that we're in right now. Read the room.
I think maybe that was the conversation. We were talking about, okay, I think I remember the conversation now. We were talking about the sensitive
everything.
Reacting to everything. Yes, yes.
And she drags it. It's like, okay, I understand clapping back. But I think sometimes just my personal opinion, I could be wrong. So if somebody want to, not check me, but challenge me, that's fine. But it's just like, somebody may say something about her, like a joke, like those spam or bot pages will say something. Mm-hmm. And then she'll make a whole video crying about how everybody hates Black women, which is true. The world does hate Black women for some reason. But I feel like sometimes she takes the moment that we're trying to make really serious, and she'll take like something small that somebody will say to every celebrity, no matter color. Mm-hmm. And she'll just like try to make it a moment. And I'm like, you can't make everything a moment, sis. You're a celebrity. Like,
yeah.
Not everything's a moment.
Like, you're signing up for that, unfortunately. Like, you're signing
every celebrity gets it. Like, I'm sure somebody say you look like a doodle head dummy. Like,
not the doodle head.
I'm not saying they can't feel some type of way about fans saying stuff, but clap back and keep it pushing. Don't make a whole Instagram live crying and ranting about it. It's just weird. It's just
funny. You know you cannot say doodle.
I know, not with y'all, because y'all love the word doodle.
Yeah, okay, so for context, like, we went to Vegas for Imani's birthday 2 years ago, and the doodle head became, like,
a thing.
A running joke, so it's like, it brings back bad memories.
Stay in Egypt.
You gotta do a lot to be called a doodle head.
I'm just coming up with something somebody could possibly say to her.
Somebody a shithead, like
yo, you a doodle head. Like, you really gotta mean it.
Doodle. You doodle? You like doodle.
I feel like that's a New York thing too. I've never heard nobody
say doodle outside of New York. I swear.
Oh my God.
What you talking about doodle?
That and caca. I ain't never heard.
Nope. Over there like cracking up, and I keep looking at her and I'm laughing too. Like,
all right, I'm gonna look at Imani.
But no, you're right. And for real, Ari's like her rants and stuff, like it be to the point where I don't be reading all that. Mm-hmm. I don't be. Y'all already know. Like certain long text message, I'm like, I'm not reading that. But yeah, like just the swiping and the like, and everyone. I'm like, girl, you signed up for this, okay? So you either gonna sing or talk. Like you gonna have to pick one.
Right. All right, y'all gonna kill me. This is what we talk about group chats to YouTube. Somebody's literally at my front door right now, and I told them I'm recording. That's how I've been texting y'all. I'm so sorry. This is only me. It's only this stuff happens to me when I'm recording. That's why people think we're not cohesive.
Look, let's hit him with another BRB. Let's get
yes, girl.
Y'all gonna hate. They gonna be like, what's wrong with this girl? Did she not know she recording? I do, but it's just like
life happens.
People just don't respect it.
Life happens. Like it's over here thundering. I'm like, Lord, please.
Hold on. Be right back.
Be right back. I love it. I'm so here for it. Like,
would you consider any guys? Because she didn't say it had to be female.
Girl, no. Like off the top
Even
of my
then, I
head.
still wouldn't know who. Would that be like considered?
God.
Would that be considered like Shia LaBeouf?
No.
Mhm.
Well, oh, for millennials? Just
Yeah.
being a millennial? He
Mhm.
is a millennial, but
Okay, so that's like the age range we're talking.
yeah, like the age range. But I don't really know. You know what? It's kind of funny because I run like the sister page, like I really don't know. Like I'm really more in tune because I'm like posting these women and seeing what the women are doing. But are there any? Like the only other male I could think of is Romeo, Lil Romeo now.
Oh yeah, I could see him on a talk show.
I could see him on a talk show. I could see him, especially like I've been watching the
Hip hop thing.
yes, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm trying to say, or the one on BT, the hip hop thing, where they had No Limit and then they have now they have doing a Rough Riders one. Like it's for real. I watched the No Limit one as if I don't know, as if I wasn't alive during the time. There's so many things that I was like, Master P is the man.
Right,
I had no idea, like because I don't know. I don't know where I was, but you know, and just see him now. What'd you say?
You was a kid. You was out chasing them boys like Moesha.
Yeah, like Moesha. Oh my gosh, those all up in the air, like. But yeah, so I think Romeo would be one because even if you think about it, like growing up hip hop, he's really the only one you see, like as the, you know, like the head person. So that is a good question for the as far as the males.
Why, thank you. I don't have an answer.
You don't have any?
I don't have an answer.
Yeah, no, I don't really have one because honestly, a lot of the males that would be, I guess, like the linksters, the ones in between, they're, and I'm gonna just go ahead and say it, they're just abusive rappers. Everybody is abusive. Everybody's abusive. Like Blueface, whatever his name is, like him he's recording his baby mother screaming at her, throwing stuff at her. Like I'm like, none of this is cute. None of this stuff is cute. Like I don't find any of it amusing. So, and what are y'all, and the music, like, what are y'all talking about? Y'all ain't talking about nothing.
Be talking. They just be talking.
I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. Like,
and I try to understand, but everything is not meant to be understood because
nope. Everything ain't for everybody.
Mm-mm.
Everything ain't for everybody. I know that. So I don't really, I can't. Yeah, that's a good question as far as the males. Well, if anybody could think of a male, drop it in the comments because we are stumped. Like
female
and female. If you think of female too, yeah, you know, I really I gotta get up on my game with the males. I don't know.
Yeah,
they're not really. This is not. I don't think this is their season.
This ain't their time.
No, this isn't their time. It's really because when we listed all those women, like it's like Chloe and Halle, this person, that person, like.
We doing it. We doing it.
They are, exactly. Women are doing it and battling many things. But anyway. So we are going to, and Imani Wolf, she's going to catch right up when we get in, but we going to talk about WAP. Speaking of time of women, we're going to talk about WAP.
I finally watched the video.
Okay. What'd you think?
It was good. It was cute. I like the outfits, the dancing. Cardi still got moves.
You know, so me and Egypt, when Cardi first came out,
we are the original Cardi fans. I don't care what nobody say.
Original. Like, I remember, I don't even know how I found out about her. It was before Love and Hip Hop, I know that. But I just remember that mixtape.
I know what it was. It was that mixtape. Because it was on Instagram, and I was like, is this Cardi ran down on a...
Oh my!
I know. I was like, please listen to the song.
Man, listen. It was. I remember specifically because it was 5 years ago, and I had just bought my car, and I was driving around. I was doing child welfare investigation, driving from house to house. My little car, the summertime in the Bronx on Fordham Road, listening to Cardi B talking about being on Fordham Road. What? Like we were, and then she got on Love and Hip Hop, and then she just went from there. But yes, like original Cardi fans, like
up and away. She took off. She took off.
She really did. She really did. And WAP, listen, people got a lot to say about and the music and the, I be in here like, you know what I mean? It's like, that be me. I'll be listening to that like, I love it. I love it. I love every part of it. Like, I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Right. And what's the problem? What's the problem? They don't like the lyrics. They don't like the outfits. They don't like the hair. Why is Kylie in the video?
Woo, money bag.
Right on time.
I wish people respect my recording. They don't.
This is like we're legit recording. Like my phone is on Do Not Disturb right now. Like I'm busy. It's all good, girl. You all right? Take a sip. Come on, everybody. Sip break.
Oh my God.
Ride tribe. Ride tribe.
Oh God. But we just got into WAP.
WAP.
We were just talking, and Egypt brought up a good point. She said, "What's the problem?"
I don't see the problem.
I don't see the problem. Like everybody, all these male tears. Like
break it down. What's wrong with the lyrics?
She's telling the truth. Like,
what's wrong with the lyrics?
I don't see nothing wrong with it.
If a guy was rapping it, would it be something wrong with it?
Right. Exactly. Like, I mean, but that is all they rap about, though. Like, that's what they be talking about.
Literally.
He had incest in his lyrics. He had literally two sisters kissing each other in his music video.
Like, who?
Future? I don't give up if they was real sisters. Listen.
And what we doing? Singing the song. Hey. But then when we do it, ooh, why they doing that? It's too nasty. You're a woman. Like, come on.
I sure am.
Payments, people.
I'm sure, and guess what? I have body parts, and they're singing about the body parts that women have.
Exactly.
Men sing about it.
They be scratching it.
Men love singing about our body parts. How come we can't sing about our own?
Right.
Exactly. I just, like, when I think about, okay, so when I was growing up, and I literally was just having this conversation with my mom, when we were growing up, my mom, like, you know, my family's West Indian, so rap music was like the devil. So she's like, remember when you guys were listening to rap music? I just cried. I'm like, girl, this is why I went away to college, and people were playing music for me, like, oh, you from New York? And I was like, I don't know any of these songs. I grew up on soca and reggae. I listened to Buju, Embarrass, and Barrington.
That's some songs too.
That's what I grew up on. But that's all I knew. Like going to school. So it's like, you know, when I got into high school a little bit later, you know, I was able to get into it, and then I had to play catch up. But when I played catch up, I'm listening with, you know, 20-year-old ears, listening to Biggie. Like, if you listen to Biggie's lyrics, like, he cool and all, but he be talking about some nasty shit. Like he's like something, I know one of the lyrics is like, you know what, it's going to be too much for this, but it's nasty. It's nasty. Talking about watching people and doing stuff to himself and stuff. And I'm like, this woman is just talking about her own body. Like, literally. The things that men glorify, like y'all glorify, like, oh, nobody want no dry this and dry that. And now she talking about what you want, and you got a problem.
Exactly. It's just like, because, you know, Black women, especially from slavery, it's been a thing in society for our bodies to be policed. It's been a thing. Like, policing Black women's bodies is like everybody's favorite thing to do. Mm-hmm. And I'm over it. I'm over it. Like, we have body parts. We're reclaiming our time. We're reclaiming our body parts. Like,
and we're doing what we want to do. Like, the thing that annoys me the most with everything is like, let Black women do what they want to do. Like, just let us do what we want to do. Like, I don't understand why every time it's something, it's like, why is she doing that? Why is she doing that? We can't be loud. We can't be quiet. We can't be smart. We can't be dumb. We can't have blonde hair. We can't have yellow eyeshadow. We can't do nothing. So
like
guess what? You're going to do all of it, and you're going to eat it up.
or just sit there and be quiet.
And be quiet. Like if you don't got nothing to say, it's okay to say
Mind your business. Just mind your business. That's even favorite line. Mind your business. Right.
I just don't understand, like, what's the problem? Like, I did think it was funny though that when Cardi was debuting the song on her Instagram, she was like, "It is the edited version," because YouTube was like, "Oh, nah, y'all doing too much."
I heard that they wasn't even like before the song came out. There was a radio person that tweeted telling all the business that they had just got off a call, like a meeting with their team, and like they didn't think they'd be able to play the song on the radio just because they had so many bleeps in it. I love it.
I like, because even like the version on TikTok is different from the one on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it says it's on YouTube. On TikTok, it just echoes wet. So this wet. Yeah, so, and then on YouTube, it's wet and gushy. So, because somebody, I don't know, randomly scrolling on TikTok, somebody, I guess like the teenagers, they wrote in their caption, like, you know, like, my parents said that this version was okay, like the wet part, because it's just kind of trailing off, kind of leaving it up to interpretation, even though we all know what it means.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that version is a little, is as good as it's gonna get.
As good as it's gonna get.
And what people have to understand too, again, everything not for everybody.
It really isn't.
Not for everybody. Like years ago, Cardi had did a radio interview on it was in Spanish, but they were like translating, and this elderly lady called up and she said, "Oh, Cardi, I love you. Like, I just love what you stand for and this, that, and the third." And she said, "But I'm so upset with you because your album, like my granddaughter can't listen to it." And Cardi was she said, "I'm not making music for your granddaughter." Like,
right.
That straight up. Like first of all, Grandma, what you doing calling in this radio station? Like, go on somewhere.
She's waiting for her moment.
Yeah, she just needed her moment. Like, what?
Can y'all ever see yourself doing something like that? Like, why do you care so much?
I'm my business way too much. Like,
here's my lane. I'm comfortable here. Granted, I do step out when necessary, because sometimes you got to step out because people put back in their own. But this is my lane. And this is the lane that you in with your granddaughter. Cardi's over here. Leave her. Like, there's like, and you know, like a lot of the memes are saying like, y'all talking about WAP, but we grew up on Trina. We grew up on My Neck, My Back. Hello.
That's about Kia. Kaya.
Right. The name pronunciation. You'd be like Kia. Kaya.
My
So
doesn't learn to be talking while I'm filming.
Oh,
audacity.
Hello.
Kaya was over there talking about my neck, my back,
and my crack. Like she the original one talking about salad tossing out in the street. Like,
and what was her tweet was over there talking about touching herself and ended up dating a pastor, Jamal Bryant.
Listen, I remember that. Like, I'm like, oh, she's talking about masturbation. Okay.
Yes, like.
Oh my goodness. And we just said, oops, there goes my. And I remember because she talked about it in an interview, because I'm like, you know, I ain't supposed to be listening to the music anyway. I told y'all earlier my mother was crying. But I'm like sneaking watching 106 in Park, and she's like, you know, it's just about like, you know, just loving yourself. Nah, girl, you talking about masturbating. It's not.
Cardi and Megan is being more direct about what women have been talking about for years.
Mm-hmm. And I'm here for the direct. Like, I love it. I'm just sad that it's quarantine and we can't be out. Like, and the thing is, if we want to take it even further, like as far as soca music, reggae, dancehall, like
you're listening to Buju.
I know, right? Buju wasn't as bad though. Buju isn't as bad as
horrible, but there's some lyrics.
It's not as bad as like somebody like Tanya Stevens, if y'all listen to her.
Yes. I've heard some of her songs.
And the thing is, I still be rocking out to her music, but see, I'm grown now. So now I could get it. You know, I'm like, oh, I understand what you're talking about right now. but it's the same thing. It's the same, because how many West Indian parties we've been to, and they be like, women with the gushy.
We done heard it all. And be up in the air with one hand in the air. So, okay.
I think it's just this time is like everybody just want to have a problem with something.
That's true. What's that song back in the day? Gushy, gushy, I got ulu buke.
Oh, yes.
That's nasty too, I heard.
It's French for it's
something for French.
Christina. Why we don't know the song? Marmalade.
Lady Marmalade.
That's not the original, I don't think. I think she remixed it.
That's the remake with Christina, Kim, Missy, Maya. It was one other person on there, maybe.
Yeah, I remember this. I think they did it for a movie soundtrack.
Yeah. Yeah, for yes. I'm not even gonna try to remember, but yeah. Chicago. There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, but it's all the same. Like, I mean, the thing is sex sells. So
everybody can relate to it, because reality is, unless you're a priest or a monk, everybody has sex. Literally. Animals, married people, not married, everybody had sex.
Right.
Adam and Eve had sex. So it's like, come on, like, it's relatable.
Right, literally. So, you know, and if it's not for you, it's not for you. It's okay. Just keep scrolling.
Right.
Keep scrolling.
And be abstinent.
Music, for real. Listen to something else. Mind your business. Like, it's simple.
Yeah.
Well, your kids bought for your kids. And I just don't like that Kylie Jenner was in the video. That's talked about that already. I'm sorry. When I had to get up from the computer.
No.
You came in, so we don't talk about it.
Yeah.
So for me, I personally don't see the problem, only because, one, there's other women in the video, and it's not like Cardi just put Kylie and Kim and a bunch of other like white people. It's different women in the video. So I don't, Oh.
A bunch of other like white people.
So I don't see the problem. And that was Cardi's point. She wanted to put different women in the video. So if there was a bunch of white women in the video or Latinos and it wasn't mixed, then I would feel some kind of way.
So I said, what I was explaining before, like this was before, but to Egypt, the issue with Kylie being in the video is Kylie is a person who has been accused of cultural appropriation. So it was very like to see her, and then the part that she had in the video where it like music stopped for her and she's not even rapping, like that was the part that was like
spotlight on the white girl again.
Yeah, like it's just like, and then these other talents like Suki and Mulatto and like Ruby, it's just like and Normani, like they got these 1 second clips. So
he shouldn't have had that shine.
Yes, that was my thing. That it's just
what
like
was the reason?
What you said?
What was the reason?
What was the reason? So that's what, you know, I think, of course, social media takes everything too far. I mean, the petition, the change.org, like, come on, y'all. Like,
I love it.
It was funny. It was fun. And then the memes and all that stuff is funny. But I didn't, and like I said, y'all know, I watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians. They're entertaining to me, but I could have done without her in the video, especially because, like I said, like you have these 2 Black women that are screaming to the top, like to the world about, sexuality and not giving a crap about it. And then you have them spotlighting these other up and coming women who also scream about their sexuality. Like if you listen to Mulatto and even Normani, like, could we get into her for a second?
This is everything.
She's everything. I cannot wait for her time. Like, I know, like, Cardi has said she was working on an album and stuff, but that one little song she had, I'm still listening to it, like it came out yesterday. But, I like old music anyway. But, yeah, so that was my issue with Kylie in it. And then, I saw some explanations like, oh, y'all wondering why Kylie's in the video, and then they showed her followers, and then Kim had also showed it. But I'm like, they don't need Kylie Jenner. Mm-hmm. Cardi does not need Kylie. Meg definitely does not need Kylie Jenner to promote any type of video. Like the women they're spotlighting, of course, are going to benefit from being in the same room with these two women, but Kylie is like,
she's already
right. It just was like out of place. Like the other women she spotlighted who are very grateful and around her, like they are up and coming artists, literally. That's what they all are. They're up and coming women of color who are in the entertainment industry, like sing, rap, whatever. Mm-hmm. Kylie is a reality TV star and a social light personality. Like she just didn't fit. Again, read the room. She didn't fit in the room. Like, even though I heard that the house that they filmed in was hers. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I heard that.
But it just didn't make sense, and it just kind of made. And for me, it was like another moment where we feel the need to put like someone white in our stuff. Like we always have to insert them, and like the Kardashians find a way to be inserted in everything black, and it just kind of becomes annoying because it's like, all right, enough already. Like I'm not saying that they, shouldn't enjoy black music or black culture, but it's just like we always give them a spotlight and highlight when it comes to like us as a community. Even with Kim and the whole like incarceration thing, there have been plenty of people of color on the front lines of this movement for decades, and Kim comes in the picture and it's like all hell Kim. Like no. So I just feel like we could have done without Kylie. She didn't really make sense because the message was like women empowerment for women entertainers, and Kylie just wasn't. She wasn't the wrong. So
yeah, and she just doesn't fit either. Like she just, even with the part with the sexuality, she doesn't fit. Like first of all, no, I'm not gonna touch on that. Anyway, she just doesn't fit. I'm gonna say that. I was gonna talk about the like as far as her like being a figure of sex. Like she's well, to me anyway. Like her body's done. A lot of people's bodies are done. Okay, whatever. But as far as her, at least. Some like for example, Suki, right? Mm-hmm. Suki, she ghetto as hell.
What's her name? Suki with the good coochie. Is that her moniker or her tagline?
I never heard her say that, but it sounds like Suki is. She just. I'll be here for her. I don't care.
I love her.
She I think she was in a hospital bed doing something today or yesterday, like getting surgery.
She always in somebody's hospital bed getting surgery.
Yes, but she's open about it. Like I think she was getting like her butt shots or whatever, and she was twerking or something. I don't know. And she was up twerking. She was like, "When you getting ass shots, behold is life." And she's twerking in the bed, like she's like letting y'all know.
Because I wonder if that's the old video when she first got this. Remember when she first got her surgery done, and that's how people started getting to know her more because she went viral for twerking on the hospital bed. High off of anesthesia, and the doctors were trying to like get her to lay down.
I wonder if that was it and she had like it was like one butt cheek was like had bandages on it. That's what I saw today. Let me see if
I don't know. It could be the new video though.
Yeah, but she like these women are open about surgery. Like Cardi talks about it, especially in quarantine. She's like, I got this weight. I'm gonna have to get another surgery. Like, and it's like Kylie's very like, no, I gained 12 pounds.
Girl, we know you got lip fillers and breast enhancement.
Oh, you got your lip fillers. We know you got your fat transfers. We know you got your restructuring. You probably got a couple ribs removed. Like, listen, I'll be watching Dr. Miami, so I'm very well versed. I'll be watching Dr. Miami Snap, so I'm very well versed in the surgery world. But just why lie? Just say if you did it, you did it. Like you wasn't blessed with it. It's okay. God blessed another medical person to give you that.
Exactly.
It's fine. Why lie? If you right. and then it just brings back the point of let women do what they want to do. You want to get surgery? Yeah. Do your thing.
Exactly.
Do your thing. So because don't nobody believe that none of y'all, all of y'all look like ants. The only one of you guys that look regular is Courtney.
Courtney, yeah, she the only and Kendall. Yeah. The rest of y'all got boobs and butts and lips from where?
Like, granted, Kim has gotten her butt done way bigger. Like, it was not always like that. Like, stop it. And her waist and stuff, like, girl, you look like you're gonna break. It don't look comfortable.
It don't, unless she dragging a wagon back there.
Like. Yeah, literally.
Are you dragging that wagon?
It's not cute. It's not cute. Ooh.
It ain't look like a thing. Wait, let me not body shame. That was rude. I mean, is it really body shaming if it's fake? No, I'm just kidding.
You booty shaming.
Let me not body shame the Kardashians. Let me not do that.
I mean, but can we really body shame them though? Like, would that be?
I think that they're stealing Black women's bodies, but I don't want to shame their body, even if it's done. I won't body shame.
I don't think it's really body shaming because the point is just saying, like, be honest about what you got done.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing. Like,
yeah,
be honest. Like,
just be honest.
We know, like, if anybody has watched Dr. Miami on Snapchat, you know what it looked like.
Yeah.
Like, granted, the culture of surgery between California and, you know, East Coast and West Coast, like, at least East Coast, we try to make the hips match. West Coast, they just be plopping behind in there with stick legs, and then we know that's how we know you got it done.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, I didn't want to talk. I'm flat as a board, but whatever. Like, that's why I want you to be honest.
I'm about to say, if I got some things done, I would let people know. Like, yes, I got my boobs done. Yes, I got my.
Party. I'm having an unveiling. Y'all gonna see what I paid for.
This is one girl I follow on Instagram, and she calls her body. She got her body done, and she calls it the merch.
Ooh, that's cute.
She made a clothing line out of that. She's like popping in New York. She's a lash tech. And she does brows and stuff, but she got her body done, and she was like, the merch. And she charges people, because she has a big following, she charges people just to tell them the name of her doctor. Literally, people have to cash out her just to find out the name of her doctor. I'm like, sis, I am not mad at you.
Listen, let women do what they want to do.
That's what they want to do.
That's what we want to do, and mind your business. Like, it costs nothing for you to mind your business.
It really don't.
Like, I used to, like, be in comments fighting a lot.
Like Al Roker and Carly Rae.
Time for another episode. I've gotten into it with some celebrities.
But, no.
That's for another time. We're gonna talk about that one.
Yes.
But anyway, so we got anything else, ladies?
I feel like there was something else we wanted to talk about.
Oh, yes, Meg.
Tory and Meg, not just
Tory and Meg. How could we forget?
Because no Munchkin got a lot to do with this.
Wait, what'd you say, Egypt?
I said we don't have much time, people. Let's squeeze it in.
Even superlative is about to be the timekeeper. That's what your superlative about to be.
Yeah. So yesterday, Meg came out and said that Tory shot her, even though maybe it's just me, but I thought we knew that already.
We all knew.
Oh, okay.
Now it's a fact.
Very true. Because I was like, why is this all over my timeline? Like, duh.
Yeah. And it was like 5 videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Shade Room did that. The Shade Room broke it up with they trashy blogging. So, but that's a whole nother discussion for another day, because the Shade Room is
shady.
Yeah.
Not even. They're just whack. Like,
they just be. Oh wait, we get off.
Nah, this is our group chat, y'all.
Yes.
Mini segment. Write it down.
Yes,
it is. But yeah,
but yeah, like, because then I know a lot of people, and again, bringing it back. This is just the theme that we keep bringing it back to, about women not being protected, Black women not being protected, because she said, stop lying. And I didn't tell the police because they'd be killing us. Mm-hmm. So even in her probably worst pain of her life moment, scared for her life, like, people think like, you just get shot. Listen, you know where their arteries is at? You don't know what you could have hit. People die from getting, people die from getting shot every day. Even if you think you're not hitting nothing, or it's just in my foot or in my arm, like, that's her life was at risk, and she's still in those moments, like, lying to the police or whatever it is she said, so that they don't possibly get trigger happy and shoot this Black man.
Yeah, or her and her friend.
Or her, right?
Yeah.
So it's just sad.
Because the video we saw her with her hands up,
limping.
limping out the car. So obviously the police, which I can't wait till this story like connects, because I'm still trying to figure out like why the shooting occurred, how the police got involved, like why Meg had her hands up, who got arrested, how is Tory out of jail? Like I'm just trying to put all the pieces of the puzzle together still. But no, definitely Megan and Breonna Taylor.
Right.
Megan is a living example of what we mean when like Black women are least respected and least protected, because people, it wasn't this outpouring. People came to A$AP Rocky's side when he got arrested in that European country, way more than they did Meg. Okay, people made fun of her
even after all the comments he made
about Black Lives Matter. Exactly, people have accused her of lying, snitching.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's really just disgusting. And it brings me back to the whole idea of, I feel like a lot of times Black people, I feel like within our community, we only can understand racism. We tend to ignore other issues that plague our community and be really tone deaf when it comes to like Black women, fat shaming, body shaming, homophobia, transphobia, like we just are very tone deaf with other issues that affect our community, and that bothers me significantly because racism is not the only issue that we suffer from.
No, it's not.
So I'm really disappointed with how people have really, reacted to Meg during this time in her life. It's hard for any woman in the public spotlight, anybody to get shot, period. That's a tough situation. Right. To know somebody hates you that much to want to kill you.
Yeah.
That's tough.
I would really love to know what the hell, like, why, like, just why, like, what was the reason? Like, why, what was going on? Because y'all was at Kylie's house, because y'all was on live, and then it goes to being pulled over, shot in the car, like, what was going on? But, and when you had your intermission real quick, Imani, we were talking about, like, the males, of the generations, like, we talk about, we mostly spoke about the women as far as like who would be a good, millennial like speaker or whatever, and we were talking about the men, and I said all the men are abusive. Like when you think about it, like even your gears turning right now trying to think like, damn, who would it be? But they're all abusive, and it's really sad to see everybody saying like, oh, these women are standing up, all women are coming out, because Dream Doll came out about Tory a long time ago. And I know she's like a smaller scale, like she's still like kind of up and coming, so people are not really paying attention. But that diss track that she did got her a lot of attention.
Yeah.
It got her a lot of attention. So, a lot of women are coming out and saying things, but everybody's like, where are these male, figures, giving their support? And even in some of the comments, like some of the pinned comments or top comments is like, oh no, we just got to see what happened. She was shot.
What is there to see?
What do you need to see? Like, what do you need to see?
I knew Tory was a problem during quarantine radio, whatever he was doing, because it was something about him just was like, you're a little too hype. Like, you just a little too, I could tell he had temper tantrums. I just got a certain energy from him.
I get the energy from him because he's like 3 feet tall.
I knew you were going to say that.
You already knew it was coming. Like, he about 3 apples tall. Like, come on.
There's a word. Kaylin said it earlier. Like, shorter men that have like a big ego.
Napoleon complex.
Napoleon complex. That's exactly what
he's 3 apples tall, and he got to be loud. And I might get killed for that, but whatever. Like, and it's not all men that's short, but that's what it is. Like, it's very like, I need to be seen because I'm small. Like, my personality needs to be 6'6" because I'm 5'1", which is fine. But you just have.
And you notice another issue I have with Kylie. She was in the girl video. And then I could be wrong, but I ain't seen not one statement on her actual page. No. Even when the WAP video came out, she ain't post no picture with Megan. And the girl left your house and got shot, and you was in her video. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to give us some type of, I got your back. I'm here for you. I'm sorry this happened to you.
Right. Because you quick to be, on the live. You're on live? Oh my God, you're on live? Like, and yes, she's on live. Like, you're not trying to get out the camera, so you're fine being there. You're fine to be seen, but when it's time to show up, you know where to be found.
And that's my issue.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then, people were also saying that, like, Kylie, the same day, Kylie had posted a picture of her foot in the sand. So people were taking it like she was trying to shade Megan. And it just was, I didn't like it. I don't like it.
Cancer. Like, you attempted to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Cancel for that. And what you doing with a gun anyway? Like, where was you?
Yeah, why did you
pool party?
Yeah. In
In
quarantine. It's not even like the club still ain't open.
Right. So where was you going with this gun? Like,
yeah, it's not like y'all had an appearance. So.
And he shot, was he in the back of the car? And she was in the front?
I thought it was the other way around. I'm not sure.
Either way, they wasn't next to each other.
Right.
Well, he could have been next to her and shot her.
No, I think somebody was it was front and back seat.
Oh, okay.
Back seat. I know from what I'm understanding, it was something like she was trying to get out and he was telling her no. Like he didn't, like almost like a hostage type of situation. Like, no, you cannot leave. And then
that's disappointing. I'm very heartbroken for Meg. So we just need to do better. Like, I've been seeing comments, Black men saying, well, not all Black men are. And this is not the time to be like, not all Black men are. Just shut up.
Not the point. Just like Black Lives Matter.
This is not an all lives matter moment. Like, just have conversations about how in our community we could better show up for Black women. And if you're not at fault of being any, aggressive or whatever towards Black women, then it don't apply to you. But reality is we do need to have conversations about how Black women could be better protected, period, on all fronts.
Right.
And that's just like the whole Kiki thing. We got that in there too.
Yeah.
She said what she said. She ain't have nothing to lie about. Nobody believes her. Nobody investigated. Now what?
Now look.
Yeah. Or how August attacked her when he was upset. It's like, attack Black women, why don't you? And then when we respond back, it's like, oh, we're angry and aggressive. Like,
or lying.
What Mystical say about the bed?
Help the bed! Help the bed! I love it. All right, ladies. So with all of our technical difficulties, intermissions, we good.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Listen, this is, and that's the other thing we really want people to understand. This is really us. Like, we are family. Like, we're sisters, and like literally family. And we are coming together to do this because this is what we want to do. Let Black women do what they want to do.
Like, mind your business. Just
go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, follow on Instagram, do your thing. Like Twitter too.
Right.
Twitter, like,
this is not The View. This is not The Real. This is just family members who literally talk every day in the group chat, taking what we talk about in the group chat and putting it in a recording situation. That's literally it. So anyway.
Thanks for watching.
Later.